Hey everyone, my name is Alex from Jar, and today with me I have got
Jamie.
and over on Skype we have
Not Ruben.
not Ruben, which in fact does mean Ruben. So we are reviewing The Last of Us in a review throwback or throwback review. Can't remember which way I put it. So
Whatever. It's not really that far of a throwback. It's only like a stone's throwback.
yeah, it's just out of date for what it is now. So The Last of Us is a third-person shooter slash stealth game.
Survival.
Slash, yeah, horror survival.
It's a horror survival game.
Sort of.
with mixed in with like action bits with where you're fighting people and not just horrific mushroom people.
Yeah. So anyway,
I prefer the term fungus
we all hate it because we're Xbox fanboys.
No,
Ruben,
in
I'm
actual
going to give you a
fact.
task right now.
Yeah.
What's the story of The Last of Us?
Shit. I can't remember.
You can't remember.
No, let me get my thoughts straight. Okay, so you're a man called Joel, and he has to get this girl called Ellie, who is like the what do they call them? She's immune. There you go. That's what they call it in the zombie genre. From one side of America to the other, and loads of bad shit happens to them in that time. And there you go, Last of Us.
Yeah,
But they just do it really, really well. So.
it's a particularly depressing like season of The Walking Dead
Yeah,
game, but with really, really well done visuals and
Motion
cutscenes,
capture.
mo-capping.
animations. So let's start with the story then.
Can I just say one thing?
Okay, go.
Troy motherfucking Baker.
Troy Baker, the voice of Joel.
He's
Very
just
And
prominent voice actor right now. He
Yeah.
did a very good job in this as the main character.
he's almost unrecognizable.
I'd say he makes this game like without a good voice actor for Joel, it might have fallen apart a bit, especially for parts with high emotion levels. It just wouldn't have worked. But anyway, I was the story, wasn't it? Yeah, I would say the strongest thing in the game by a sizable margin is just the story. Maybe not the when you break it down, it's not anything we haven't seen before.
there's like a difference, I think, in literature or something. There's a difference between the plot and the story. The story are the events that are something to do with characters, and then the plot is like the stuff that I don't know. It's something weird.
Yeah, I'm sure there is a difference, and I can't think about it when I'm vamping on the mic as it is.
Well, stop your vamping, bitch.
Pretty much, it's not the story or like the actual plot story, whichever one it is.
Like if you're into zombie stuff, you've seen the story before.
Yeah,
However, in a game, we have not seen it presented in this way with such caring sort of.
Yeah, we haven't seen this much care since Dead Rising 2.
There is no other zombie game, or not. It's not a zombie game. It's like
Survival horror.
It's a
effectively,
fungus.
if it is, it's a zombie story, but they've changed the sort of origin of the infection or
Yeah, now it's not just like a bad burger. It's a bit more than a bad burger now.
Yeah, and it just makes it's a character piece like any good zombie fiction is. Because I hate it when zombie things get into like, we got to find a cure because that's not what's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to see this go away. You want to see these people with a more like a smaller goal. You don't want to see like a big world changing thing. You just want to see these fully developed characters interacting, surviving, doing what they do, and this by far probably in any bit of media I've ever seen achieves it the best, because you're given, unlike a movie where you've only got a couple of hours, you get a lot of time in a TV show, but there's been no TV show to do with zombies that has done it this effectively. Talking to you, Walking Dead. Still good.
It's the only one, Alex, so, I mean...
I'm sure there are others, like on the Sci-Fi Channel. Like The Dead Walking, I'm sure is like one.
That doesn't even count. That doesn't even count.
Movies for men.
Oh, shut up.
But yeah, it's emotional. It's definitely the most... it's the only game that's ever pulled me in to the point where it's like, Christ, this is sort of mind-blowing what they're managing to do with this, because I don't know, I can't think of any other game where I've really got into it, right? I just don't want to stop playing because I want to know what happens next. I want to get to the next cutscene to see how they're going to react to something or deal with something. And there are some really heartbreaking stories in there. Some loads of characters in there, all really well fleshed out. Probably the most fleshed out and
Like,
likable characters.
You're saying you wanted to get to the next cutscene, you wanted to see how it all turned out, yada yada. When I first played it, I got to one bit and I died on it, and I just stopped playing, and I didn't play it for like another week or something.
Yeah,
and then I got back to it. That was it, solid. I just didn't stop playing it when I went back to it.
yeah,
That's one thing that is quite challenging.
Yeah,
yeah. I played it on the baby difficulty, and it's still
yeah, so did I.
And very violent.
Extremely violent. It's even sort of quite horrible because you make like bombs at one point, and the way they animate it, it looks like, oh my god, that looks just how you would imagine like someone on a battlefield like stepping on a mine, like how that would look.
Yeah,
so it's really horrific.
When you blow someone up with a
Well, not someone.
nail
actually
bomb.
you can't you?
Blow up a group of assholes with a no. There's one bit in particular, isn't there? There's like 3 of them stood together, and we all remember that.
But when they explode, there's like a string of blood.
Yeah,
Comes out, and it looks so
gross and horrible.
But the whole game looks incredible. It's the best looking game of the last generation by a sizable
I
margin.
don't know. It's probably still the best looking game now.
Although it's hard because there's nothing else in the same genre that's really comparable, because the only other things that look fantastic are either like driving games or open world games, and you can't compare an open world game because it's linear. Ultimately, it's a linear game.
It's
But it gives you like this,
freedom. It gives you freedom within the missions, but where you go is very limited.
Yeah,
Semi-limited.
Like-
You can like break open doors and search for supplies and stuff.
yeah, like in a linear game, you just go down this hallway, final hallway 13. You go in a straight line, but when The Last of Us, big area, and you want to look around everywhere. You want to find everything that is there, everything possible.
they're like micro sandboxes, but with
Yeah.
inside buildings. So, because there's like an upgrade tree and everything, so you have to you want to go around searching for things to upgrade your gun or stability or whatever. Because you can upgrade guns and you can upgrade like physical things that Joel can do.
And just things like your health and how quickly you craft things, stuff like that. And the crafting, that's all like real time, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to gather supplies and then you just whip your bag off and then build a Molotov or something. That's some stuff you
like what it manages to do. Probably the best thing in terms of gameplay is make the stealth like really tense, because there are some zombies that not zombies. I've got to sort. What are they called? What would you just call them?
Cordyceps.
They call them clickers, don't they?
And infected.
And then there's those big clickers as well, really big ones.
Like
really
and some of these like they will kill you in one hit. If they
and it's a really gross like execution where
Yeah.
they put their hands in your mouth and pull your face apart, but it cuts to black before you see that bit. So it's like you just imagine it, and the imagination part is more powerful than the actually seeing it.
Yeah, because the part I find most effective is the fact that you can be insta-killed by things, because in other stealth games, a lot of the time when you're seen, it's just like, quickly just run in and stab them all, or it's not really a big deal. But in this one, it's like, I'm fucked. That's it.
Unless you have a shotgun.
Yeah. And like ammo as well is quite limited.
Yeah.
Like it's all very, very well done, all of it.
You'll think, oh, I have all this shotgun ammo, I'm totally okay. And then you're like 4 zombies down, you're like, I have nothing left. I'm fucked. I called them a zombie just then.
Yeah.
They are essentially zombies.
They are, yeah.
It's a zombie game, really.
What are they called? Cordyceps. I'm sure that's what they're called.
Seps, I think it is.
They just call them the infected, though, because that's easier.
Yeah, they're not going to go around saying that, are they?
Or runners. Runners and...
yeah, there's runners, tickers, and...
bloaters.
Not tickers, clickers. This isn't Gears of War. Yeah, bloaters. Those are really horrible.
Yeah.
Multiplayer. Let's talk about that. That was good. Sorry.
Me and Ruben played it a couple times.
I really enjoyed myself pretty much the whole
We would
time.
have played it more had it been on the Xbox, because we are essentially...
We're so based on the Xbox. There's nothing against PlayStation. It's fine and everything. It's just we're used to being in parties and everything. And
it just meant swapping HDMI leads, going on Skype. Yeah, it's going to pain. That was the only reason,
And
leveling
because we
around
didn't
there.
start with the PlayStation, we started with the Xbox and then
Yeah,
got PlayStations.
Well,
I
at least
got
I
a
did.
PlayStation
I
for The
bought
Last
a
of Us.
PlayStation for this game.
Yeah.
That's how good it is.
I
I don't regret it. That's the main thing.
I bought a PlayStation, and it wasn't just for Last of Us, because I didn't believe that this game really could be that good.
Yeah, because we were
And then I
talking
played it.
after,
And it was that good.
yeah. I mean, this is a tough year because there have been some just ridiculously good releases. It's the best year in gaming in a long time.
Yeah, there was a video that I think was making the rounds on YouTube just called 2013 in games, and it was like, yeah, this is pretty much,
Like
and everything.
in a different year, like Assassin's Creed 4 might have been Game of the Year, but there's just been so many good releases this year. Like, anyway, going off track. Like,
Yeah, we should just dedicate a whole video to that.
yeah,
Done.
But quickly, multiplayer. You guys played that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, really fun. Enjoyed myself.
You pretty much choose a faction. You're either Fireflies or what's the other one, like
Raiders or something.
Hunters. And you don't actually get put on. It's not like you can only go against Hunters if you chose Fireflies, because the person that you look at, they will look like a Hunter, but to them they could be a Firefly, which is quite cool. So you choose, and you've got this whole like Survivor thing. You've got a group that you've got to each match gets you supplies.
You get these, and you've got to get some supplies to feed your group.
Do well to keep your group alive, which is cool.
And on the games where you do badly, you really feel it. And on the games where you do well, it's like, yes, save my fucking group. What are you going to do?
Or it will say like 40 people of your group died. It's like, shit.
I think the last time I played it, I was one match away from like complete destruction of my entire group, and I just didn't go back to it.
It looks very sort of it's really tense.
Yeah, it is tense.
It is really tense, actually.
So, like, it might be. It's not very casual at all, though. Then is it? It's like really.
No, when we were playing it, it was like, "Do you want to play Last of Us?" I don't know if I can mentally handle it tonight.
Yeah, it's like Gears of War.
The mental anguish that it brings upon me is just too much sometimes.
I have to mention, though, the soundtrack is insanely good.
Yeah, and it's pretty much all done on acoustic guitar and electric guitar.
And this other instrument I forgot the name of.
I'm going to have to listen to it now after
the guy who did it. He did an amazing job, and it really...
Gustavo Santaolalla.
Gustavio Baggio. Joe Mon...
Shut up.
Consuelo.
It's very good. I mean, one of my favorite things.
He's a master magician.
He's a master of friendship. Karate and friendship.
So I'm just going to quickly say, because for me, there is one thing that is not perfect about it, and that's just the fact that I have only played it once, and I don't really feel like I need to again, because there are certain points that I just feel like I could just watch the cutscenes on YouTube and I'd be happy with that, because...
See, I almost agree with you, because there are a bunch of parts where it's just like, I don't want to do this part where I'm just walking with someone talking to them, although that is really good the first time. But
yeah, and then there's other parts where it's like, I don't want to do this bit because it's really tense and I don't think my chest can deal with this at the moment.
As I said, it's not very casual, is it? It's so, it is so intense. You really have to...
If I were to play it again, it would be like with somebody, so I could just like, here's a hard bit, you can play now.
I have played it through like 3 times because the gameplay is really good, so I think.
Well, I would say that where something like Gears of War is all about the gameplay, so I'm really focused on that. The only thing I really care about is the story, so that's what I want to experience again, and it's not the easiest thing to go back and do again because it's so, like, intense, both in gameplay and emotionally and everything. It's almost too much to experience again.
Well, I'm hardened.
Yeah.
So I can handle it.
But still, I mean...
Yeah, me and Jim are grizzled vets.
That's such a small negative, though, like, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Because it's still... Like, I played Uncharted and I wasn't crazy about it, but this really has made me respect Naughty Dog immensely. Now they're just... It's ridiculous how...
Yeah, I mean, like... I can't... No, I'm not talking about it because that's like a whole other video there. No.
Yeah. I think just the fact alone that it had an upgrade tree really made it that much more like, because if it didn't have that, it would have been
Bland.
yeah.
It would have been more bland.
I'm sorry if you really like Uncharted, but it would have been like Uncharted for me because that I like the gameplay of Uncharted, but you know, The Last of Us, there's more to it. There's much more to it because you got the stealth sections and you got the different types of enemies and you got the upgrade trees for both different sort of traits, and I find that much more involving, and especially when you've got the story that you're following as well, it makes it so much better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't
Well,
think of anything else.
I'm getting in my comment here first. I'm saying my view on it. I only say it's really good. Yeah, done.
You good? Top score?
Yeah.
I'll go last.
Yeah, Lotus Beige. It's phenomenal. Good gameplay, or really good gameplay, really good multiplayer, really good story.
Really good everything.
Yeah, I'm with you there on that. I'm going to give it only a little bit shit because it's the best zombie story. There we go again, the zombie thing.
Because it is
the best, like, it is a zombie story, effectively. When you boil it down to it, it's the best one I've ever seen. Most involving, best characters I've seen in a game before. It's, yeah, I think
Probably one of the best games I've ever played.
Naughty Dog should be commended for this and remembered for it as well. And to end this, I'm going to say it doesn't need a sequel.
Oh, they're gonna make one.
Okay, so don't answer that. We can do a whole separate thing on that. I don't think it needs a sequel.
They're rolling in.
Wait, one thing before we go though.
Go.
Ellie!